Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer. In this video, I'm going to be trying to upcycle this old Craftsman shop vac that I have. It's super old, quit running. I'm going to be getting a new one hopefully soon. So rather than taking this to recycling or putting it out at the curb, I thought maybe I could come up with some type of a creative project to repurpose it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is completely get rid of this top part that has the motor and the filter in it. I'm going to dump, I know there's a bunch of sawdust in it now. I'm going to take that out and dump it. I'm going to take care of that part first, and then I'm going to bring the base back in and I'm going to clean it up. I want to get this Craftsman sticker off, and it would not just peel off. It was chipping into pieces. So I got out my torch and I'm very carefully and lightly burning it off. I'm just barely touching the surface. I don't want to wreck the plastic on the sweeper, but I do want this sticker gone. So I'm making sure I wear a mask because I don't know what chemicals I would be breathing. I just have to work at it very carefully. Okay, the technique that is working the best is to gently scorch a small section and then take some type of a putty knife and work across that way. This is coming off. It is leaving like a sticky adhesive, so I'll have to figure out how to get that off next. But it is working. So now I'm just left with a bunch of sticky goo on there. I'm gonna go inside, see what I have that can take that off. The Craftsman label is all gone, but now I'm left with this sticky gooey mess. So I'm gonna use NV Earth. I'm just gonna spray that on there. Hopefully that'll go to work on that goo. Give it a minute. Okay, it does look like that ate some of that away. Okay, you'll let that dry. Okay, I just cut a top for this using a method I think I saw on TikTok, and I apologize, I don't remember who the creator was that posted this, but I just tried it out. I found center of the circle, and I just took a very basic wire hanger and rigged it up so that this attaches to the nail, and you just use a jigsaw to cut around. It really worked pretty well for my first try. I mean, it's really pretty accurate. It's the size I wanted. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that again, and I'll get that one on camera. But I wanna cut a smaller circle that is going to fit now. It's gonna connect on the inside so that when this lid goes on, it doesn't shimmy around. And what I'm intending on doing, I ordered a DeWalt shirt on eBay. It's not here yet. I would like to make this some type of like a cushioned top. So I'm gonna have to find some type of like a thin foam, put that DeWalt shirt on it. Hopefully it's big enough to stretch over this whole entire thing. If it isn't, I'm gonna have to figure out a way around that. And then I bought very thin vinyl that'll wrap that. So basically that's gonna go on the top. I'm gonna cut another piece for the underside. So I'll just show you how that goes along. I'm ready to move on to the next step. I finally got this shirt that I ordered off of eBay. It's a men's XL t-shirt. My intention is to cover what will be the top part and a seat and foam underneath it. But I can tell already just by where the placement of this logo is and where this neckline falls that if I'm gonna cover this round circle with this t-shirt, it's either gonna be off center, which I really want the DeWalt logo to be in the center. So I think what I'm gonna do is take this t-shirt inside up into my sewing room and probably splice it so that it will cover this seat and the DeWalt logo will be right in the center. I am not going to do that on camera. I will come back though and show you after I sew this, the piece that I end up with, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so here's what I did off camera. I actually had another DeWalt shirt. It was like a men's employee t-shirt that's this yellow. So I had that fabric left over from something else. So I kind of piece parted it together, sewed it in the back, and pressed it all nice and neat. And that way I have enough material now where that DeWalt logo can be centralized. It's really important. One thing I have to remember while I'm doing this, as I'm laying that down and wrapping it around this larger circle, is to make sure that I staple and make all of my connections at a point that will be hidden underneath this smaller circle. So I want to make sure I keep that in mind. So I went ahead and left the fabric extra long. That way I can staple it down and then I can cut it off and trim it when I'm done. The next step is to attach foam to the round circle before I put the fabric on top of it. And I don't have an actual sheet of foam, so I'm going to be piece parting it. And I really don't think I need a ton of glue. I think I just really need to hold it in place. So I just really want to make sure I get the seams put down so that it isn't quite noticeable. Just want to tack it down enough that when I'm turning it over to work on it, things aren't falling all over the place. So I'm going to cut these off right along the perimeter and then use the pieces I cut off to fill in the blanks. But I'm just going to take my scissors and follow that circle around like that. So I'm just going to take these scraps and fill in. There's a big section there, and then there's a tiny little section there, a little sliver right there. But this is almost, I think that's going to work. I don't think when it's covered that you're going to be able to tell, hopefully, that I piece parted it. So the next step will be to put the fabric on, and then I did buy vinyl on eBay. In sheets, I might have to do something like put a blow dryer on it, because when I take this out, it's probably going to be all folded. But so we got the foam, then the fabric, and then this, and I'm pretty sure rather than use like an air gun, because I've used an air gun on vinyl before and it goes right through, so I'll probably use my handheld stapler. But anyway, let me finish this section up. So there you have it. Here we go. So this will be going on here. And I want to be very accurate as I can. Where's my tape measure? Just want to be sure that I have the same amount of yellow showing, that that's centered. And then what I'll probably do is start tacking it. And again, I want to be very mindful of when I do tack it, that it's going to be in an area where that smaller circle is going to cover up everything that I do on the other side. I think it's going to be a good idea if I mark this smaller circle so that I can make sure when I wrap it that I got all of my loose ends underneath this. So I'm going to mark that right now as a guide. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I just want to make sure when I wrap that around that it is across that line. Okay, so now this needs to be accurate. Okay, that's almost 4. All right, I think that's center that way. So I think what I'm going to do is flip this up and tack it here first. And I want to make sure, like I said, that I am past that mark. I want to watch my fingers. Okay, that did not go through. All right, I think we're in business. Now when I sewed this upstairs in my sewing room, I made sure that I left these arms on because I was a little iffy with if those would clear that. I've kind of got mixed reviews whether I would suggest using an air gun with putting the staples in because a lot of times they want to pull through the fabric. I am going to be using vinyl over top of this, and I know I'm going to use a hand stapler because with pneumatic nails they just pull through. So I'm going around and just kind of securing so that I've got the spacing. I'm just kind of securing so that I can cut off this excess. So here's what I have so far. And now to trim that excess. Here's the idea. So here is where we are at. And in theory, the smaller one is gonna go over it once I have that vinyl attached. And I think what I wanna do, because this will show, I think I'm gonna spray paint this black at this point, and let that dry. And next step is attaching the vinyl. I'm sure when I take it out, it's gonna be super wrinkly. So this is a vinyl sheet I found on eBay. Very thin and super, I mean, look at it. It has all the creases, which I do not want to show. So I think what I'm going to do, it's a sunny day. I need a lunch break. So I think I'm going to put this maybe out in the sun and see if that doesn't help. If it doesn't, then what I'll do is take it inside and take a hair dryer and try to get those wrinkles out, because that ain't going to cut it. I hate working with vinyl because, as you know, everything sticks to it. I was able to get most of the really hard edges where it was folded in the envelope out, and I ended up putting it in my car, which is out in the sun and it's really hot. So before I get too much lint and dust and everything stuck to this, I think I better go ahead and do this part. All right, I'm just gonna very carefully work my way around. I stapled here and then directly across, and I'm just gonna fold this neatly because I want it to be as flat as possible. Every couple inches I'm making a crease and working it towards the center. And stapling. Okay, so I went around and stapled that vinyl on to the best of my ability, and I really respect the heck out of anyone that upholsters furniture. I don't have the patience for that or the skill. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the extra off. Here's the smaller piece that I painted black. So in theory, I'm going to attach this now. And I really don't want to have any hardware showing if possible. So my thought process is, if I attach these tool wranglers, maybe evenly spaced out, but to where they still make sense, where tools or batteries can hang from them while the seat is put on. If I use the hardware that comes with these, I'm kind of hoping that when I put it through those screw holes, that will be enough to attach this black piece, because like I said, I really don't want to use glue, use screws. Like around here they're going to show, so I'm going to work the screw holes into the design of this. So that is the next part. So I'm going to use a block as a spacer and just kind of line the block up with the outside. Okay. And I could, if this was something that was going to show to the public or to anybody even coming in, I probably could go get painter's tape and tape this off. It's going underneath the lid. So if you want to be that persnickety about it, be my guest. I don't have time for that. I gotta cut my grass today. So, all right, I'm gonna attach this first one. And in theory, like I said, the screws are gonna go through the tool wrangler and then hold this smaller circle in place. So I like where everything's at. Looks even, and I'm just gonna give it a whirl. Okay, that block is a nice spacer. I'm getting kind of close, so I'm just gonna feel and make sure nothing's popping through. So I think the screws I chose were the right size. They're about 1 inch, and they are helping to hold that on. So now I'm going to go do the other side. There again, going to check that that's not popping through the front, but that it's holding tight. Looks like it's shifted. No, it's good. Those screws should be enough to hold that on. I'm going to do the other two, but shoot it off camera, well, on camera, but for TikTok. So I'm gonna do the other two, and then we will seat this seat. All right, there you go. So now let's show it in action. Once it's on, it stays put because of that smaller circle inside. Here are my tool wranglers underneath, so they can slide on like that. My tools can slide on too. Now, I was taking a look at this design. Couple things to point out. When I removed that label, it kind of messed up a little bit of the plastic. So I think what I'm gonna do is go back. I have a whole bunch of shop stickers and Instagram stickers from people that I'm friends with on Instagram. So I think I'm gonna fill that part up at the bottom and maybe all the way around with shop stickers. I think that'll look cute. Also, when I went to put this label on, something happened with the eye, the dot of the eye. So as you can see here, I have a rhinestone. This is a theory I have in life. A lot of times you go to fix a mistake, it ends up better than it would have anyway. I actually like that design element. It kind of fits me a little bit more because I am down and dirty in my shop, but then I am a little blingy too. So there's a little bit of bling. You might take a look at this and decide you might want to customize it even further. This bottom section has a lot of room. You could throw like your work clothes in there, maybe a rolled up extension cord, what have you. But I was kind of looking at this spout here and I thought, hey, wouldn't it be kind of funny to do like a working for the weekend type style thing, to where once your work is through on Friday, it can convert into like a little wine dispenser. So that's what I'm gonna do. Unfortunately, the nozzle just doesn't fit through that hole. I tried heating it up and kind of chipping part of it off. That didn't work. I'm just gonna take my OMT and take this whole entire piece out. I think it'll be better. There's gonna be like a square in front, but that's, I think, the way I'm gonna choose to take care of that. Here's what I ended up doing. I ended up cutting this whole part in the front off. I wanted to really leave that cap on. In reality, with putting a wine box inside, it didn't work. It wasn't shallow enough, so I ended up cutting it out. Then there was a big gaping hole there, so I ended up taking a sticker that I have from one of my friends that sent to me. I put it around the wine box to kind of camouflage it, and now I'm happy with the way it works. You could really customize this project however you'd like. Here's how the lid looks when the tools are attached. You can do whatever you want. Here's the top of the lid. Overall, I think it turned out really nice, and I hope it got you thinking about how you could repurpose something maybe that you had left out for the curb or kind of gave up on. So I hope this video is inspiring and helpful, and I hope you like and subscribe and all of that fun stuff. And until next time, take care.